Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Richard Beneville, and this is a part, or will be a part of my weekly show, Hello Central. But with technology being what it is today, now I can segment things and be able to interview people as they are here. Because the whole purpose of the show is, one of the purposes of Hello Central is to bring to you the people of Nome, some of the interesting people that come through Nome all the time. And there are more than you think in our little town of, what are we now, 30, officially, that we gained 150 people. That we're 3,650. Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. We got a lot of gold miners too. We got a second gold rush going on. But you're up here, and I wanted to introduce these wonderful young people. To my immediate left is Lars Flora, and Lars is an Olympian. A cross-country skier from the 2002 Olympics in Salt Lake, and I've got to ask you about it because in a minute or two. But welcome to the show. Welcome.
All right.
I can't. I'm so proud to have an Olympics as close as I've ever going to get. Hello Central. And we're here because of cross-country skiing. These young people, this volunteers. This is Jared over here, who's a very interesting dude. Very interesting dude. And Galen, very interesting young lady. Born in Japan, lived in Japan, raised in Japan, and moved to America when you were 16 years old. Wonderful background. He knows of and lived in a place where I went to high school in England, Laken Heath American High School. Go Lancers. True. Sure. Anyway, so here we are all together. And the purpose is cross-country skiing. Lars, kind of start us off. What's going on and what's the plan?
In 2011, I was competing in Oslo, Norway at World Championships. Mm-hmm. And the last race, we had 100,000 people wrapped around 8 kilometers for a 50-kilometer race. So wow. I think we did it how many times? 6 times. And 100,000 people cheered us on for 2 hours.
Good Lord.
And yeah. I retired shortly after, and I figured that we needed to build the ski community a little bit here in Alaska, and it was a chance for me to give back to Alaska. And I created this program called Nana Nordic, and we go all over the state teaching kids how to ski. And we focused in the Nana region the first 2 years, and now we are here in Nome.
But you're more than a Nome.
Yes.
I mean, you send a couple of volunteers out to several of the villages, I believe. Am I correct?
That is correct.
And to Shishmaref and where else?
We have a couple of volunteers in Koyuk, and we have some 5 volunteers in Aniak right now.
Oh, yeah?
And we have 2 more volunteers coming up tomorrow to Nome. And yeah, we got 25 locations going on, and I think it's around 3,000 kids on skis.
Wow, that's hard to imagine. That's kind of scary, 3,000 kids on skis. Man, duck, Hello Central. But it is a wonderful thing, and we have locally, some of you may know Keith and Annie Conger. Keith Conger, who is the coach of the local cross-country ski team and biathlon team, and they have competed here regionally. We've had several regional meets here. I think there's an established program for many years in White Mountain. And I cannot remember the name of the man that's been leading it up for years. But you probably have met him. He's about, well, no, he's younger than I am. Everybody's old, younger than I am. I can say that, though, but you'd be laughing. Hello Central. You've got to be the kid in this.
I am. I am the young one.
How old are you?
28.
28? That's not so young. Hello Central.
Just have a very young face.
You do. Yeah, my mother would have said he's got a baby face, but that's okay. I did too. I was the baby. But we're talking about skiing, Dick. Why? What is it about skiing? What is it about cross-country skiing? Tell me. Talk to me. Good exercise. We know that.
Yeah. Basically, a pair of skis can provide a lifetime of adventure. And every school, the majority of schools in western Alaska and northern Alaska are, has snow right in front of their school. Mm-hmm. So why not hand a pair of skis to a pair of to some kids and see what happens?
What does ski do? What does it do for you?
I don't know. I've been doing a lot of skiing of all sorts, like skiing downhill, snowboarding, and I actually just started Nordic when I came up to Alaska about 3.5 years ago. But there's just something about being on the snow and being able to kind of glide. And as a kid, I mean, it's being able to see a hill and be able to go down it. So like snowshoeing is fun, getting outside in the snow and playing in it. But there's just something about being able to like get up speed and go off a jump and be able to just play around in the snow. And
Do you jump? Have you done a ski jump thing?
not the big ones, just little kickers.
Now, you use the term, and you use the term, and I want you to tell me, Galen, what it means. There is a different, you've got Nordic is a type of skiing. Tell me about that.
Well, Nordic skiing generally refers to cross-country skiing. I think they're used interchangeably. And then in the world of Nordic skiing, there's classic skiing, which is where you're striding, and then there's skate skiing, which is mostly what we're teaching to the kids here today.
And that just looks like it's physically very uncomfortable. I mean, they skate. Have you ever seen it? It's like skating with 6-foot sticks on your feet.
That's right.
Yeah.
And you're boom, 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 and you're edging. You're kind of pushing off on it, right? Like you're using.
Don't you guys dig for gold up here underwater?
Some do. I don't. But yeah, no, they do. No, I mean, it's a tough life. No, I mean, it's good, and it's good for them. I understand that. But it just looks hard. I got to be honest with you. I was not, I downhill skied when I was a young teenager in Colorado. We were talking about that. Up to Arapahoe Basin, that's where I learned how to ski. But that was, you did 2 skis and you stem Christie and snowplow turn and all those old things. I don't think they do it. I never knew from a snowboard till I came, and I didn't know what the heck that was all about. But now it's the only thing. You don't see people with those kind of skis that I learned to ski on. That's not a kind of skiing anymore, is it? Or is it?
Oh no, we're still doing stem Christies and
I'm so
turns and
The skis are a little shorter now. They're not
just
quite as long.
different equipment, but it's all the same.
That was a turn you had to do.
Yeah.
We did this, and then you lifted the ski, and then it was like a 5th position down. Put your foot down like that, and then you pulled the ski up, and then you pulled it around. Now you're going the other direction. I found that very difficult. I used to step and put my ski on the back of the ski, on top of the ski, and then I would fall over. I did that a lot. So I'm curious, the history of this all. When I'm thinking back, if you were to ask me the history of skiing, it's Nordic. I go back into, some of you people my age and maybe older remember some of the old movies that happened in Sun Valley, where Sonja Henie, was one of the first to begin to popularize skiing.
Yeah.
What are you laughing at?
Oh, she's a Norwegian.
I know she's a Norwegian.
Yes, one of the greatest Norwegians out there.
I know. And she did a lot to further skiing around the world.
And did you know they just finally had another figure skater from Norway who competed in Sochi?
Oh, I didn't know that.
For the first time in a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had Catherine. Who was Mallory's? Who knew Mallory's? Did you know the Mallory's? Somebody knew Catherine and Paul Mallory.
That might be Annie.
Annie.
Right now.
And they used to live up here. And he's Norwegian, right? Or she's Norwegian or something like that. And who was it that was running in Iditarod? Oh, I don't know, 7 or 8 years ago. And Catherine ran to, she taught everybody to say, yoink, 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 yoink. It was like, Ole, it was in Norway, a thing you do to cheer people on. And what are you laughing at?
Yeah,
It's true.
I like it.
And he came into town, and the whole town was going, yoink, yoink, yoink. I'm trying to remember his name. He didn't win, but he did okay. He finished okay.
He left his mark.
Exciting. He left his mark.
Yeah.
He left his mark. It's very exciting. You've decided to stay for the end of Iditarod.
Yeah, we've traveled from Anchorage, and why wouldn't we stay?
Isn't that too? They are in for such a treat. That is such a treat. Have you ever thought, because they've skied the trail before, have you ever thought of doing that?
Yeah, I've been thinking about skiing the trail. Since I retired, I spend a little more time in the office. And
what do you do?
Well, this is my job. So I basically, we built this program from the ground up, and we're looking to build it, and just interacting with 25 communities is a full-time job.
I'm sure it must be.
Getting to know guys like yourself.
Especially since last year they went out to 11 communities. So in a year's time,
That's a lot.
They have over doubled their number of communities that they're reaching out to.
And where do you get the volunteers from? Are you from? I mean, how did you come to be involved with this?
Well, I live in Anchorage,
Right.
and I'm a skier, and I've heard about it for the last couple years, and have been wanting to do it, and the opportunity came up, and I jumped on it. So here I am.
Lars and I have been working with a group of youth there in Anchorage, and I love the opportunity to get to take more kids out skiing. I think it's an incredible opportunity for them to get outside more, and also just to get to enjoy this beautiful state where a lot of times kids are sitting inside and not getting out and exploring.
He's good.
So just an opportunity.
He makes me want to come to Alaska, and I'm here. Hello, Central.
Yeah.
Hello, Central.
It's just an opportunity to get to hang out with the kids here in Alaska, but also get to share the state that they have and be able to.
Well, this is a perfect segue into a little bit that you told me about the last several days that I've got to know about you, that your father was a youth minister and contracted with the military.
Yeah, he worked with the teenagers whose parents were serving in the military.
Like my dad was a dentist.
Yep.
He ran the dental clinic, so he was stationed. I lived on Lake and Heath. I went to Lake and Heath American High School.
I lived there for 7 years.
Go Lancers! And he was, and there was this theme of working with kids. You got a lot from your father, didn't you?
I did, yeah. No, there's just I don't know. It's hard to explain other than just seeing the impact that somebody can have by investing in youth these days. I mean, just being there. I mean, you can give them things. You can say, hey, here's what you should listen to. But until you actually get down and spend time with them and build a relationship and take them out skiing, that's when they see that somebody truly cares about them and will be passionate about something.
Is it easy for you to talk to kids, or do you end up listening to kids, or is that the secret?
I learned so much from kids. I definitely like talking to them because they make me laugh. But
they do.
I learned so much from kids because, they're really fun.
I've been providing after-school activities for the kids in the elementary school for 21 years now. 21 years, and I do weird. One of my favorites is weird science because I'm like the Mr. Whiz, and it's real simple because I ain't no scientist. And I do these experiments, but I have found as I talk to the children. Oh, they know so much. You know, I mean, they oftentimes Saturday morning television. I get into trouble for this sometimes. It's poo-pooed because it's violent and all of that. And yeah, it is, and you wish it wasn't. But I'll tell you what, it's all based on incredible science. I mean, you can't watch an hour and a half of morning television, with the kids and the animated thing, and not know about transformers and lasers and all of this stuff that. I'm a pre-moon kid. I was born, before 1969. That's my theory of pre-moon and post-moon. People born after that, it's probably most of you here. I'm sure you were all born after 1969 or have had close. Oops. It's called stepping in it. Hello, Central. Well, but you're close. You're almost. But no, so you're pre-moon. My theory is that born before 1969, when man landed in July, that we have had to learn technology. Of course, there are those who say we also invented it. This generation invented it, which is also true. But I've had to struggle to learn to keep up with computers, and I'm pretty good. You, on the other hand, were born with it.
Nope, not me. Well, I was born with it, but I'd much rather be outside than on a computer.
Well, wait a minute. I didn't say you were guilty of being a game freak. I said technology has been a part of your life since you started to
Yes. Okay. I'll agree with that.
Golly. But he is.
Yeah.
No, and it is. Yeah. It gets it's a whole other discussion. It gets a little scary time when you see the amount of time. Some kids will text, the average teenager, this blew me away, texts 60 times a day.
Wow.
60 times a day. 60 times a day. I'd be trying with my glasses trying to find the letters. But
give them a pair of skis. That's what they
give them a pair of skis. There you go. What is it about when you ski? What's the most? I have 2 questions. What's the big rush for you when you ski? When you personally, Galen? What is it that
I just love being outdoors. It's just a wonderful way to get outside in the winter There's nothing like the feeling of
Mm-hmm.
sort of person-powered movement, whether you're working your way uphill or down a hill. It just feels really good. And for me, I just love being out in nature.
Mm-hmm.
So the cross-country skiing or Nordic skiing, you're not at a ski area. Like Lars said, you can just go right out your back door in Alaska and go skiing and explore. It's beautiful.
When one talks to mushers, and I've had a lot of them on this show,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of mushers, they talk very often about the singular aloneness of it, that sense of independence, that you use the word adventure, but that you and the dogs, or you and the skis, and I know you went ski touring. Did you go yesterday? Keith, how was that?
Oh my
Oh,
goodness,
it was
it was
amazing.
Well, you had never done it before?
No, I have done it
Oh.
before, but not with dogs like that. We were
Yeah.
flying.
You went flying. Yeah, I watched
He was
Keith.
flying.
Would you do too?
Yeah,
Did you enjoy it?
I had a great time.
Oh, we all went. It was
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
an amazing night.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Ski touring, for those who don't know, is you harness a dog, or two sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
and you're the sled, and off you go, and you ski and help with it's absolutely, I've watched Keith practicing, and they get going quite good. But there is that sense of inner peace of doing it that you hear from mushers so often. You're there with the northern lights and the
And for me, it's actually doing it with other people. So there is that sort of oneness. But usually when I ski, I'm with other people. And it's just a wonderful way to bond outside during the winter months. It's just really fun.
It's a large community of people that ski. I know it is in Anchorage.
Mm-hmm.
That's the phone in the background. We're probably not going to answer it. You're going to hear the answering machine. We're after hours here with the thing. Now, talk to me about what is it for you? What is the rush? What is
The rush of
the
skiing.
great joy?
I love the kind of the freedom of it and just the exploration of getting out. I love skate skiing, and it's great in Anchorage because we have amazing trails.
Mhm.
But I tend to do a lot of touring, so where you go out more for like an entire day and go miles and miles and miles, and you get to just kind of go off trail and get to explore.
How many miles a day can you do? I mean, if you're racing, I know you do 50K.
Yeah.
We got bells ringing all over the place.
It's a busy place here.
Yeah, it is. Hey, we like that. Right before I Iditarod. So you had said that the independence, the freedom,
Yeah.
the adventure.
Yeah, and similar to her story, it's the community with it. Like I don't like to go out all by myself. It's you have some great friends that you get to go and share that experience with, and you get to catch up and hang out and joke around.
Do you find the kids kind of bonding together when they?
Oh,
Boys are
absolutely.
loving it.
Oh, yeah.
They are having a
Yeah.
blast. Even the ones that are falling all day long, they're laughing.
That'd be me.
They're having a really good time.
Well, it's
I know.
really cool to see because a lot of them are helping each other. You just see this cooperative behavior. So they'll be falling and they'll go over and be like, "Are you okay? Here, let me help you up." And so it's really cool to see them kind of helping each other out while they're skiing together.
They're making pretty good skiers.
Oh yeah. In 3 days, Keith has way too much business.
Way too much business. He's done a very good job, and he's helped by a lot of volunteers. Yana Kralik, his wife Annie, skis with them. Nikki Pope used to ski with them, so that there's a number of adults. But I think I said to you yesterday, I'll sometimes, and we'll have a snowstorm or squall or something, and I've watched 20 kids disappear into the mists and the snow, and I'm sitting there going, well, I hope I see you come back, kids, because it's like going into the great abyss. Lars, I wanted to ask you this because my background is theater and all of that, and I love it. I love watching the ceremonies of things. I enjoyed living in England, because the respective ceremony is perhaps unlike anywhere else in the world.
They do enjoy it there.
Yeah, they do. And recently we had the Queen of England's 60th anniversary, Diamond Jubilee, what a totally cool things and all of that. So I get very much into I see the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade and I'm in tears because it's so exciting. You came through the chute in 2002 and the lighting of the torch. And you were there for that. As an American, granted you were in America, surrounded by those other athletes from all over the world, can you remember what was going?
Yeah, I was 24 at the time, and it was I was an underdog to make the Olympic team. And so the way the Olympic qualification happens is that we have 12 months to qualify, and it's a point system. And basically, I was an underdog about 2 months prior to the naming of the team. The team gets named 1 month out from the Olympic Games for the cross country team. And I made the Olympics. I won my first national title, and I kind of blew myself away. I didn't really expect it.
Good for you.
And it was really fun because I had two of my training partners and friends who were right there. And one of them was actually expected to make it, and he didn't make it. And then I had another really good friend with me at the national championship, and it was really fun. I still have the picture at home where there's three of us, and it's a snowstorm, and we're down in Bozeman, Montana, and it was just something about being 24 with two really good friends. One, of course, didn't make it, but it was just something about qualifying for my first Olympics, and they were there. It was really fun. And walking into the opening ceremonies was, of course, one of the best moments of my career. I had dreamed about it from since I was 12, and that was a pretty good feeling. And President Bush did the pep talk kind of to get the whole Olympic team, the United States team, ready for opening ceremonies. And it was also right after 9/11, and so that was a lot of pride,
of course,
and a lot of nationalism.
Yes.
And so that was something that I'll never forget, and walking in as the U.S. Olympic team was one of the best feelings of my life.
I could imagine.
Yeah.
I can just imagine. I know what it was like for me realizing that I was on a Broadway stage for the first time. You know, where I had aspired to be all of my life, and there I was, in the chorus, but didn't make any difference. There I was, and I cherish that moment. It's not egocentric. It's like it's doing, it's accomplishing something. And that, for you, I watched I watched in Sochi.
Mm-hmm.
And talk about an Olympics that got upstaged. And how sad that is for the hardworking athletes from all over the world that get upstaged by that. Once again, the politics. In 1969, it was the terrorism in Munich. And there are those of us, and I'm one, and I think most people are so proud of the idea of the Olympics and athletes like yourself. So I am truly honored and very proud to be sitting next to you. I've never known anybody that's done that. You probably, I don't know how many Broadway actors you know, but hello, Central.
All right. We'll bring. We have 4 or 5 Olympians involved in the program. We had 3 Olympians come up to the NANA region last year. And so we'll bring you some more Olympians.
Well, I'm gaga about the Olympic part, but I'm very gaga about bringing cross-country skiing to Western Alaska.
Yeah,
I'm thrilled to tears. There are, it's another thing to do in the winter. I'm in tourism. I'm involved with tourism. Winter tourism is something we need to focus on. Everywhere. Cross-country skiing is a popular. People from Europe come here to cross-country ski. I don't know why sometimes, because we don't have that many trails for them, but the world is the oyster. My guests have been with the NANA Nordic team. They've been up here kind of spreading the word and bringing out skis. How many skis did you send out to the villages?
We packed up around 400 sets.
That's a lot of feet.
Yeah.
What about the shoes?
Oh, they stink.
Well, I ask whether you got to supply shoes.
Yeah.
Holy moly! So you're talking some bucks to get all that stuff.
Yeah, I some of the companies help out, and I represented a company, Fisher Skis, and they helped out a lot. So the whole ski business is kind of behind this project. So
that's wonderful. Well, and you're finding recruiting, is what you're doing. Galen, how long did you live in Tokyo? 16 years?
16. Well, it's a long story, but yeah.
Do you speak Japanese?
I do.
Do you? Fluently?
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
I remember a bit. But you know, I had a group of Japanese birders on tour. Unfortunately, I ended up speaking more Japanese than they spoke English. This was a very quiet day. You know, I said, I'm sorry a lot and thank you and all the things that I knew. But you know, with Japanese, it's just so much is just the attitude,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You know, it's you know, it's there. Anyway, that's another story altogether. Galen, you're cool. Thanks for being on my show, dude.
Thanks, Jared.
Hello,
My name's Jared.
what did I say? Galen, Jared. You know, I'm not a young kid. Galen, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Lars, it's been an honor, and thank you for. Yeah, I know I get gaga about the Olympian thing, but your job here is what you've done so well today. You should have seen them out there. They had classes of, you know, they must have had 60 kids on skis at one time. It was unbelievable. And Keith, it's a continuation of his program, which he's done so well to establish. Nome rocks, and we're going to get, you know, more cross-country skiing in the school, so that we can truly compete with the other schools in Alaska. Thanks for being on my show.
Thank you.
Enjoy Iditarod. Remember, it's like Mardi Gras with dogs. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you again soon.